Although there's an essential group of filmmakers that define the Western canon, your Hitchcocks, Godards, Hustons, and Kurosawas, there's a single filmmaker from the global south who's often tacked on at the end. Satyajit Ray. A Bengali filmmaker active from the late 1940s to the early 1990s, Roy changed the world of Indian cinema and put the parallel cinema, an Indian term essentially synonymous with indie cinema, on his back. But he didn't come from a vacuum, as much as our tourists may want you to believe. There was a group, a philosophy, a whole world behind him. This video is for them.
This is not part of the commercial! Is some jerk making your life miserable? You want revenge? Call
The Film Society movement, pioneered by France's first generation of cinephiles in the interwar period, expanded globally in the late 1940s. As V.K. Cherian explains in his 2016 compendium India's Film Society Movement, one of India's first societies, the Calcutta Film Society, was founded on 5th October 1947 in South Calcutta, with 19 original members attending the meeting. Of these 19, the 5 central founders were advertiser Satyajit Ray, culture writer Chidananda Dasgupta, documentary filmmaker Harishodhan Dasgupta, author Hiron Sonyal, and actor Radha Mohan Bhattacharya. The CFS resolved to screen previously inaccessible international cinemas to remedy cultural stagnation and reorient cultural associations regarding the medium. As founding member Chidananda Dasgupta explained decades later, the CFS's raison d'etre was a quest for an Indian idiom in films. The films screened by Roy and Dasgupta in the early years of the society indicate the Marxist ideological background and realist tendencies of the group. The first was silent epic Battleship Potemkin, followed by films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, The Childhood of Maxim Gorky, and The Lower Depths. Many early screenings were Soviet and French works, although Hollywood fare and films from the fledgling Japanese industry became more common for their presentations in the mid-1950s. Roy and Dasgupta crafted a program of films and literature like the Indian Film Review Quarterly to improve the collective artistic consciousness of the middle-class Calcutta culturati. By bringing the unique traditions of Soviet social realism, French poetic realism, and Italian neo-realism to India, they envisioned a Bengali cinema with the knowledge necessary for expression in a wholly unique cinematic language. Due to its magnitude and influence, the CFS was long considered the first film society founded in the Indian subcontinent, but evidence has emerged for at least 2 other film societies in Mumbai, formerly Bombay, namely the Amateur Cine Society of India and the Bombay Film Society. However, even though it didn't come first, the CFS was not a descendant of these other societies. On the contrary, it was far more a legatee of arts collectives such as the Indian Progressive Writers Association and the Indian People's Theatre Association. These organizations shared substantial personnel and philosophy with the CFS, including pivotal early members like Utpal Dutt, Bijon Bhattacharya, Nimoy Ghosh, and Ritvik Ghatak. Although the CFS never articulated a clear manifesto, the PWA's manifesto provides an accurate analog, especially when accounting for the Soviet and Italian screenings within the CFS's early meetings. Great literature will be born among us as our struggle advances, as we master aesthetic forms, as we attain the sincerity through which alone it is possible to mold the artistic talent, to recognize the realities of the life around us, broaden the scope and the content of the material at our command through a recognition of social facts is the struggle between developing class and class, to what is called social realism. The members' works, such as Satyajit Ray's Apu trilogy, indicate the social realist preoccupation of the organization. Roy's early works created a feedback loop whereby the ideology propagated by early members of the organization was reified through the study of their own films. Although the arduous 3-year production of Pather Panchali led to a period of lull following the IFFI of 1952, its release, along with Maurice Seaton's frequent visits to Calcutta, actually revived the CFS. Although all of the founding members were essential to the growth of the organization, Roy's international critical success and financial prosperity testified to the value of the organization, strengthened by the release of the trilogy's second installment. While the CFS was visited by the likes of Jean Renoir during the production of The River, with Shadhan Dasgupta even serving as assistant director on that film, it remained an enclave within Indian film circles. As Bollywood flourished, even Bengali artists pursued financial success in Bombay, including India's first superstar, Ashok Kumar. While the society cemented itself abroad, by Satyajit Ray's death in 1992, he had won every major international film award, the CFS struggled to achieve that same recognition at home. As the first among the group to produce a film, Horishadan Dasgupta's Konark, the Sun Temple, is the inflection point for the society's trajectory from a group of cinephiles to a seedbed for filmmakers. Horishadan Dasgupta was arguably the most significant documentary filmmaker to emerge from Calcutta Film Society. He was the only one to have received institutional training in filmmaking or apprentice in Hollywood after formal education. He actually went to USC. Hey, fight on. Although Roy aided Jean Renoir on an uncredited basis, it was Shadhan Dasgupta who had the education and experience to earn a credit for Le Flou, arranging large set pieces and guiding the cinematographer, Claude Renoir. Primarily a documentarian, Shadhan Dasgupta produced 2 feature-length narrative films that paired his understanding of Hollywood-style modernism and the society's influence with a French poetic rhythm. Ashok Vishwanathan describes his first, 1965's Eki Onge Eto Roop, as a modernist fable and a play of light and shade. As the PWA manifesto indicated, the CFS contributed to a revelatory cinematic style influenced by a filmic grammar that rebelled against the Hollywood and British standards of India's colonizers. Throughout his documentary career, Shadhan Dasgupta produced a plethora of nation-building films, such as the corporate documentary Tata, The Story of Steel. On the other hand, Chidananda Dasgupta, don't confuse them, remained primarily dedicated to criticism and theory, making only 7 films from 1961 to 1994. As a close collaborator, Dasgupta also penned the definitive compendium on Roy's films, The Cinema of Satyajit Ray. A resentment of Indian cinema's lack of class consciousness remained an underpinning of his work throughout his career, including his seminal essay collection, The Painted Face, Studies in India's Popular Cinema, from 1991. Despite the importance of these key members to Indian cinematic culture, the CFS was not free from criticism, even at the time. Roy himself, for example, was repeatedly criticized for his alleged failure to address social realities. Many Film Society activists from the very movement he inspired later derided him as a bourgeois filmmaker. The society was composed of the city's literati and upper crust, often defined so by caste. Film historians have dedicated ample analysis to the first generation of the CFS, and the legacy of their efforts extends far beyond their filmographies or bibliographies could capture. It is impossible to overstate the importance of CFS and its first major product, Bhatter Panchali. Before the close of the 1950s, with increasing state support and public demand for alternative cinema growing, film societies from Delhi, Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Patna, and Roorkee came together to form the Federation of Film Societies of India. As civil social organizations in a malleable post-colonial India, film societies were intricately linked with political parties across the nation. As part of India's culturally nationalistic identity-building project, Prime Minister Nehru and his daughter Indira Gandhi remained patrons of new film culture and films, extending their total support to the Film Society movement from 1950 onwards.